I'm Judy Shaw for NYSE Floor Talk. I'm here today at NYSE West here in San Francisco, and joining me today is Steve Oldham. He is CEO at Captura. Steve, it is wonderful to have you here today. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, before we get started, just a quick note to our viewers. This interview is for informational purposes only. The NYSE doesn't recommend any investments or investment strategies. All right, so Steve, tell me, why is it important for you to save the planet?
So I guess I have a couple of core beliefs. The first core belief is that it is all our responsibilities to pass on to the next generation the same benefits, privileges, and just enjoyments that we have. And my second core belief is that everybody in the world should have the opportunity to improve their standard of living, improve their quality of life. Unfortunately, the decisions that our generation and the generations before us have made, fossil fuel has enabled a lot of that, but it's also come at the cost of climate change. So for me, finding ways to address the impact of fossil fuels, reverse the impact of climate change, it's just a responsibility that anybody should have, because we all have kids. We all want to see that they have the same opportunities as us, and people in the developing world deserve the same too. So that's really what motivates me and gets me out of bed every morning.
Okay, so tell me about Captura. What's your mission?
So firstly, we're a carbon removal company. So the first thing I would say about that is people think a lot about emissions, CO2 emissions, and cars and planes making CO2 go into the atmosphere. So stopping those emissions is good. Of course it's good, but it's not enough. So think of the atmosphere as a bathtub filling with water, CO2 of course in this case. So we have billions of taps around the world, planes, trucks, cars, cows, all these things are filling that bathtub up with water, atmosphere up with CO2. What our technology does is we're the plug. Because if that bathtub is getting fuller and fuller and fuller, sure, you can work to turn off all the taps, but isn't it great to have a plug? So you pull out the plug and the overall water drains. So that's what we do. We take CO2 directly out of the atmosphere. So we're not only just offsetting today's emissions, we're also removing yesterday's emissions, and the day before and the day before that.
Okay, so is there anyone else that's in this space? If so, how are you different from them?
So for sure, I'm delighted to say that there's now a lot of companies in the carbon removal space. It is, in my opinion, a very critical technology for the fight against climate change. So there's lots of companies. So why are we different? So we actually use the ocean. So a lot of people don't understand that the ocean and the atmosphere are intricately linked. So basically, every time we emit a CO2 molecule, you drive your car or you fly on a plane, 30% of those CO2 molecules are absorbed into the ocean. That's a good thing, because if the ocean didn't do that, we'd already have a really bad climate crisis. But it's a really bad thing. Ocean acidification, blanching of the coral reefs, impact on marine life. So what we do at Captura, we use the power of the ocean, this drawdown effect, this incredibly effective carbon removal device called the ocean, which of course is enormous. We use that, but we take CO2 out of the ocean, so the ocean then takes it out of the air. So the net effect is less CO2 in the atmosphere, and the ocean is left the same as it was before. So we add nothing to the ocean in our process. We have no chemicals. We don't put bad things in the ocean. We don't take anything from the ocean. It's a zero impact on the ocean.
All right, and as you look to the year ahead, what are you focused on?
So for us, like a lot of companies in this space, we're proving out our technology and building scale. So our first system is actually up and running at Newport Beach, just down the road from here in California. It's capturing CO2 from seawater, has been doing since last August. Our next system will be fielded in the summer. It's 100 times larger. So we are proving our technology out and then building to scale. Because ultimately, if you can't do carbon removal at really large scale, we need billions and billions of tons of CO2 to be taken out of the atmosphere. If you can't do it at large scale, it's not worth doing. So that's our focus. Show that we have the ability and the capability to do this at large scale and prove the process.
All right, now you are attending the Credit Suisse Carbon Conference. What are you hoping to take away from this conference?
So I think that this conference is terrific. It's a combination of Credit Suisse and also the X Prize, the Musk Foundation X Prize, which looks for the most promising carbon removal technologies in terms of volume and low cost. So it's fantastic. There are, I think, 800 people there, all have the same mission. Everybody's looking to find the best way to remove carbon from the atmosphere. For us, we're connecting to investors who are looking to put money into this space because they recognize the need, but they also recognize, very simply from an investor point of view, we're going to build an industry that's the same size as the oil and gas industry today. And we have to do that in about 20 years. So with that, that's kind of scary, but it also brings opportunity. So, if you find the right companies in there that have a good solution, have a solid management team, know what they're doing, have scalability, I think that offers a really interesting economic opportunity. So the conference is all about matching those investors looking for those, and then the companies that think they have that solution. And it's kind of like speed dating. With any luck, we find the right people.
All right, great. Well, wonderful to talk with you, Steve. Thanks for joining me on Floor Talk.
Thank you so much.